Hi everybody and welcome back. This is Kurt and we are doing tutorials on NeoFly. So this one's going to be about jobs and missions. It's going to be, I think, a really short video. It's really pretty straightforward, but there are a few things that sometimes trip people up, so I figured it was worth stopping here and doing one. Jobs are on the first icon. You've probably found it on your own. They get listed down here. You can sort these columns by clicking on them, which I often do for distance or for reward or whatever else I might want to prioritize. You have filters. You can set your minimum and maximum distance that you want to do. You can set your weight. This automatically sets to the maximum gross for the airplane, which you can pretty much never use. So once fuel's deducted and everything else, over here, NeoFly is nice enough to give you your actual available cargo capacity. So 575. So get in the habit of setting this close to that number so that you're not getting missions that you're not going to be able to take. There's also, this one is for passengers. As you move along through NeoFly, more of these different mission types will open up and they all have different parameters that you need to think about when you're running them. But today, we're going to take a very short 7-mile hop. We're actually over here at Chowchilla and we're going to go to Merced. 7 miles, keep it real quick. Easy, straight. This icon is the regular cargo flight, so there's no special requirements on it. You get all your information here on this middle screen. Some flights that you'll get into later on, fragile cargo, VIPs, will have additional restrictions on them that I'll show you how that works in a minute. Actually, we're going there now. So once you've got your mission selected, you can click on the little airplane icon and that adds it to your flight.
Hello, pilot. The cargo is waiting for you at the usual location.
And you'll get all the loading noise coming up next.
Transporter, loading has started. Stand by.
It's a good idea to check your fuel while you're waiting for this stuff to go on. So this is plenty to go 7 miles, no problem. Check that the mission loaded. It's right here. We know we're good. And then go to the flight screen. Wait for the noise here. I think she's going to talk here in a second, so I'm kind of waiting. Maybe not.
Transporter from dispatch. The cargo is on board. You are clear to taxi to the runway and take off.
Okay, so in here is what I wanted to show you. If you take any of the fragile missions or they have special rules, it will light up these icons as a reminder for you. So you need to think about these things, whether it's got a time deadline, you have to land softly, etc. All that stuff's in here. The other thing we see here is you want to make sure you have all these green, but most importantly, the first two. This one is that you're at the correct airport, and this one is that you're in the correct airplane. The airplane is specific down to the livery. So if you've already, in this case, we're in the 172. If you've loaded the 172 G1000 and it's still showing red, you're probably got the wrong paint job on there, so you need to go change your livery. Weight is not mandatory, but if you want to get the maximum experience for the mission, you're going to want to come to the weight and balance screen and adjust it until that looks correct. So let's see what we need here. We need 284 additional pounds. So we'll put 140 in each of the rears. And 140. And we're still within center of gravity. You always want to make sure of that. And I think I need like 2 more pounds, or 4 more pounds, was it? 4 pounds. So I'm just going to, I weigh a lot more than 170, so I'm just going to make myself weigh an extra 4 pounds. Okay, so now the plane's all ready to go. We can close that up. If you look in NeoFly, this number is turned green, so you're getting all your bonuses and everything. Oh, also meant to show you, so that you don't surprise yourself, these icons down here tell you about the airport you're going to. So this is saying that it has an instrument approach. It's not going to matter for us today. Hard surface, which is good, lighted, and fuel. So it's a full service airport. Tells you over here you're going to pay fees because the highest, one of the higher classes of airport, you can tell by their color indicators over here as they get bluer. You go from, I think they're like A, B, C, D, with A being the highest. Anyways, So you'll see in advance what your fees are going to be, what the airport elevation is, 155 feet, and the longest runway available over there. So that doesn't matter much for our Cessna, but as you get into bigger planes, that could become something you want to keep an eye on. So at this point, we're ready to go. Everything's good here. Get in the airplane, start it up. Always make sure you turn your beacon light on before you start the engine. You'll get an experience ding for that from the game, so you want to get that turned on. I usually go ahead and set it up at this point, get the beacon, the nav lights, and then go ahead and even turn on the landing lights, which she's going to think I'm at the runway, so she might say something when I do that. Okay, she didn't. And the strobes. This way I don't have to think about it when I get on the runway. It's just already done. If you're a stickler and you want to do real world procedures, that's fine too. You know, as long as you have... The main reason for the landing light is that if you take off with the landing light off, she's going to ding you for taxiing too fast, because the thing that the game uses to determine if you're on the runway is your landing light. As long as the landing light's on, I can honestly take off right here if I had room, and it wouldn't know any better. So let's get the engine going. Oh, I guess I should let it have some gas here. Set the mixture and then get the engine going. There we go.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Okay, so I'm going to set a direct to KMCD. Come on. There we go. And enter, and enter. Okay. We'll reset that when we get down to the end of the runway. Everything else I think is good to go, so let's get out of here. Okay, and now set that. There we go.
Transporter, good flight.
She should always say something to you right after you take off. If you don't hear her say something, NeoFly is not properly paying attention, so you need to stop and see what's going on. You don't want to fly 35 miles or 300 miles and then find out that you wasted your time. If you haven't already downloaded it, Sky for Sim is a really nice little add-on that works well with NeoFly. Although sometimes it doesn't draw the map like you just saw, so you just close it and reopen it. And what's cool is it's getting the data from NeoFly. So, for instance, yeah, see, it's telling you it's all connected here. You can keep an eye on what's going on with your mission. If you fly in VR, it's super helpful. But like, you can find the marker here for your airport. It'll have the little NeoFly logo on it. Go over here, get your weather in advance, all that kind of stuff. If you need to know frequencies for... What is the wind over there anyways? Variable at 5, okay. So no wind to speak of. Yeah, you can get your ILS frequencies if you're going to be using it. COM frequencies, runway information, all this stuff's in here. It's really handy. It's got some other cool stuff too if you go to the main thing. It has a little notepad, so if you're trying to copy down a clearance, that's nice to have. You can do your flight planning in here. You can load approach charts, just all kinds of cool stuff. So it's worth checking out. I mostly use it to get airport data. And then we can set it here to follow the plane. So now we got a moving map with Bing graphics on it, or the moving map in the plane. Get your choice.
That wasn't the softest landing I've seen.
Yeah, get off my case, lady. Okay.
Transporter from dispatch. Clear the runway and taxi to parking.
So you can really shut down anywhere you want depending on how real you want to be. So just to keep things brief, I'll just kill it right here. And all you need to do is just shut the engine down and that'll end the flight.
Transporter. Cargo unloading in progress. Stand by, pilot.
Make sure and stay in the game till she's done with all this. If you exit early, sometimes it doesn't properly record everything. Okay, so...
Transporter. Another cargo mission completed. Thanks, and see you soon.
Okay, so that's the end of the flight. We've been given all of our...
Everything is on board.
We've been given all of our goodies down here. You can review and see any bonuses you got. She said I touched down a little hard, but I think it's a little overly strict. 176 feet per minute. It's like 2 miles an hour vertical speed, but whatever. Anyways, you can see here we got the experience for the mission. We got our pay. We got the fees deducted. Tells you your fuel usage. This airplane's a rental, so I had rental cost. How much total experience for the flight. And my memory is that one's based on the distance of the flight, so pretty small for this one. I have a 2 stars on my license, so that gets me a little bit of a bonus. And we had that payload realism and didn't overbank or remember to use all our lights and do all the things, so we got bonuses for those. And that's it. So that's the basic flight that you'll do, and as you move up through the different classes, you just get more and more advanced cargoes. There are other mission types, but early game you do a lot of this type of stuff where you just bounce around from one airfield to another. So that's it for now. We'll see you in the next one, and I hope it was helpful. If it helped you out, please give a like. It really does help, and we'll see you in the next one.